To illustrate this critical relationship between history and its environmental context, we use the city of Jericho as a case study. Jericho is the oldest city on the world. According to the Bible, at around 1.400 BC, Jericho was the first city attacked by the Israelites after they crossed the Jordan River and entered Canaan. The wall of Jericho was destroyed when the Israelites walked around it for 7 days carrying the Ark of the Covenant. Jericho lies deep in this Jordan Rift Valley, a tectonic feature formed by a fault along the boundary between the African and Arabian plates. As a result of the fault that opened up between these two plates, the land dropped 3,000 feet, eventually settling almost 900 feet below sea level. At this astonishingly low elevation, Netophians established the settlement that became Jericho around 14,000 years ago. But we still haven't answered the question why. What attracted these affluent foragers to this particular location? Again, it is geography and biology that provides the answer. The Jordan River is the only major water source that flows into the Dead Sea, and Jericho is located just a couple of miles west of the river, about 10 miles north of the Dead Sea. Jericho is surrounded by mountainous country which slopes toward it like a theater. It is mixed with all kinds of cultivated and fruitful trees, though it consists mostly of palm trees. It is everywhere water with streams. The water of Jericho is held to be the highest and best in all Islam. Bananas are plentiful, also dates and flowers of fragrant odor. The history of Jericho is rich and complex, punctuated with the same parade of triumphs and tragedies that so many other ancient cities have experienced. But Jericho's status as the most ancient city on earth makes it unique. And to remind ourselves just how revolutionary this transition was, let's consider the situation some 15 years ago. Humans had by then occupied every continent on the globe except Antarctica. Every single human, wherever they lived, survived by foraging, also known as hunting and gathering. Humans had invented a wide array of foraging techniques specifically adapted to different environments, which ran from the deserts of Australia to the Arctic ice. But the small size of most foraging bands and the fact that few exchanges took place between them limited the amount of collective learning that went on. But then something changed. Between 11,000 years and 10,000 years ago, new life phase and technologies associated with farming began to appear. Farming eventually gave humans access to more food and energy. Consequently, humans began to multiply more rapidly and live in larger communities like villages, towns, and eventually cities. These processes led to an entirely new level of complexity in the human condition. The transition to agriculture was the first step in a cultural revolution that utterly transformed human societies and drove our species into a path that led rapidly toward the astonishing complexity of the modern world. And one of the most significant steps in the early stages of that process was the emergence of large settlements like Uruk, Technotian, and Jericho. Though the history of Jericho is a 14-year-long reminder that the story of humanity can really be understood only if it is embedded deeply into the natural context in which it has played out. For the environment is truly the great physical stage upon which our human drama continues to unfold.